What's up, everybody? Big Herc Prison Talk. You tuned into another episode. I've been getting requests to start doing prison talks again, so I figure I'll drop a couple on you guys. But I'm not going to talk about the same stuff over and over about prison. I'm going to talk more about life after prison, operating outside of prison. Because a lot of guys, they haven't figured out how to operate on the streets. And, I see it. I see it like as far as in demeanor, body language, some of the gestures. If you want to make it on the street and you've been to prison, you have to watch your body language. You got to watch your demeanor because you scare the average person, man. People are scared to death. I mean, you think that it's normal, but it's not normal to mad dog everybody that walks by you for no reason. It's not normal to, go to the gym and while when you work out, as far as do your pull-ups, your push-ups and your dips, and then walk around the outer perimeter of the gym after every set. That's not normal, man. That's shit you do when you're on the yard. These are things that you have to be conscious of if you want to try to acclimate back into society and to be socially accepted. If you don't care, then hey, you don't care. But I never want to be one of those people where when I got out of prison, I still looked like I was in prison. So I watched the way I walked. I try to watch the way I talked. I try to watch the way I move my body because I know people, they get intimidated. And these are things you got to be conscious of. When you go to an interview, you're talking to somebody, and you don't come in there with your with your dickies on or your pants sagging or a hat to the side. You come in there with interview wardrobe. Some nice pants, some nice shoes, some little Stacey Adams or whatever the case. Button-up shirt. It's always about your first impression. Even if you got tattoos and stuff, at least if you have the proper dress, you may get the benefit of the doubt. And when you start talking about your, previous employment or your past, we all, there's a lot of things you can't hide because you have a gap there where you maybe have not been employed. So you want to be able to explain that as articulate as possible so that the person interviewing you can make sense of it. You don't want to keep saying, you know what I'm saying, understand me, you hear me, you catch what I'm saying. All those little, be conscious of just your vocabulary. A lot of you guys have read a lot of books. It's not like you're stupid, but when you conversate and you're not with the homies, you have to talk a certain way in order to reciprocate a certain response. So just be conscious of that. Your body language, how you sit, how you, your shoulders, how you make eye contact. All these things play a factor. When you're talking about like going to places and interacting, somebody accidentally bumps into you, you can't beat their ass because they bump into you. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not conscious of space. Which if you're in a crowded area, I mean, I've had people bump me. If somebody, bump me too many times, I'll be like, hey man, excuse you. I put them in check real quick. But you just want to be conscious of that because a lot of people they're not aware. I remember there was an incident at the gym, me and my homeboy, and we working out. We about to do some deadlifts. And there's space around the gym. We got a little area kind of like marked off. And this guy walks right over the barbell across to get to us. And I'm looking at my dude, and he looked at me, man. I'm like, this dude for real? He said, man, hold on, man. So he goes over to the dude. He said, excuse me, did you not see we were down there and you walked across and put your ass in my face? Oh, yeah, I didn't see you over there. He said, man, well, say you're sorry, man. Oh, I'm sorry, man. No, mean it, man. Say you're sorry. Oh, sorry. Next time, use some manners, man. Yeah, man, I understand what you're saying. Do you really understand what I'm saying? Now, my homeboy's a G. I thought he was going to slap the shit out of the dude because the dude was out of pocket. You know what I mean? Dude, you're going to walk across the bar, you see us loading up the weight, and you're going to put your, I mean, come on, man. So sometimes you gotta remember people are not as bright as they appear to be, even though they might drive a nice car and wear the newest shoes. They might be dumb as a dirt clod, have a turtle brain. They're not that bright. So you got to kind of sometimes let that be a factor. But yeah, you just, things like this transpire, but you don't want to do something that get you kicked out the gym. My whole thing is like, dude, after that, I bet you he never stepped over another person doing a deadlift after that, and sometimes all it takes is a little whisper. Hey man, I'm gonna split your motherfucking wig if you do that again. Oh my God, yeah, it's all right, man. Go ahead, it's all right, man. Good looking, and play it off. So sometimes you got to do stuff, it's just a little whisper. But these are little things you want to take note of when you're out because, like I said, you don't want to be someone who's that guy and people will expect certain things from you, you being that you've been to prison. Oh, if, this guy, for him to react like that, that's typical ex-felon, that's typical. You don't want to be that person. Nah, man, I'm not your typical, so don't put me in that category. Another thing is, having, been through what you've been through, don't let somebody put you in a trick bag. I've had guys where, oh man, can you roll with me, man? I gotta go do something. And they have you roll with them, knowing they about to go do something that's out of pocket, but they assume because you've already been in the mix that you don't mind being in the mix again without consent because you've already been there. So it's no big thing for you. But it is a big thing for you because you got a record. And you don't need to be caught up in some bullshit behind this dummy because he can't handle his own business. So these are things you got to watch out. These are the traps that are out there. People trying to take advantage of your kindness for weakness. You overexposing yourself like you're institutionalized because you don't know how to talk. You don't know how to walk. Your body language. Be conscious of all these things. These are things that once you learn to master, you'll be able to get that much further. And, a lot of these things are things that we've taught ourselves as far as survival because of the environment we were in. But at the same time, now you got to unteach those things to survive in the real world. Because in the real world, you go to a restaurant, they have real knives and forks, steak knives, and not plastic, People get in the elevators, it's crowded. People go to concerts, they bump into each other. You go to a bar somewhere, people drink and they say stuff, But all this stuff is regular people stuff, want to be, Billy Badass shit. This is stuff that you have to deal with on a regular basis when you're in the real world. So just be conscious of that. And, I know a lot of people don't really have anybody lacing them up on the ins and outs after prison. So these are some of the things I've witnessed. And like I said, I can go places and I'll drive by, like whether it's a bus stop or something, or I'll see a guy walking a crosswalk and I'll say to my wife, hey, he's done time. She's like, how do you know? Look at that tattoo on his forearm. Look at how he wears his pants. Do you see his, what kind of belt he has on? Check out his shoes. Guys who have been in prison wear a certain type of belt, sometimes a certain brand of shoes, walk a certain way. Tattoos are in certain areas because of just visuals. And so these are all the things that you take notice of, and that people who have never been locked up may or may not take notice of, but be conscious of them. I've seen guys in restaurants working and, come to serve food, and I see a tattoo across the knuckles, or something on the neck, and I can say, oh, that guy's been to prison. Or if a guy has some bullshit, I can say, oh, that guy, he's just, it's a Hollywood tattoo. That's not a jailhouse tattoo. He wants to make it look like a jail tattoo, but he's never been nowhere. So you got to be able to discern. But you guys who have had those real tattoos, just know that, a lot of times these things are dead giveaways, and you don't want to give away your game before it's time. You want to be able to get to where you need to go, have the opportunity first to show who you are before the door is shut in your face. And these are a lot of things that you're not really put up on game for life after. Because I've seen it, man. Guys in the halfway house, going to job interviews, and I'm like, this dude is not going to get a job interview because he don't know how to talk. He does not know how to have a regular conversation with someone. And that's something that definitely needs to be addressed, because if you're going to actually talk to people who have never been locked up, who have never been around maybe drugs or violence, it's a different conversation. It's not what you would normally say to a homeboy that grew up in that environment. So just be conscious of it. You know, I'm putting you up on game. Big Herc, Prison Talk.
Lockdown's over. Get your yard time in. Exclusively at FreshOutSeries.com.